So we are going to start in our butterfly. So bringing the bottoms of the feet together. Allow the knees to fall out to the sides. Maybe taking hold of the bottoms of the feet or just allow the arms to rest. We're going to start by pressing into the feet, pressing the feet in together and just start to bounce the knees, just creating some gentle flutters here. This is going to help us to start to engage all the muscles surrounding the hips. So we're creating a nice active butterfly here. So just sticking with those bounces, working with the breath, taking a slow breath in, slow breath out. Seeing if we can keep a nice tall spine. We're taking one last breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to allow the feet to fall open. We're going to allow the knees to fall heavy. And we're going to bring the chin towards the chest and just allow the head to fall towards the feet. Allow the spine to round. And we're just going to be staying here for a few breaths. So this is our passive butterfly. Just allowing all those muscles around the hips to relax. Allowing the knees to fall heavier with every exhale. And just taking two last breaths here, nice and slow. Last breath. As we exhale nice and slow, rolling up through the spine, releasing the hands. Maybe taking the hands underneath the thighs and closing the knees together. We're going to slowly find our way into our downward facing dog. So planting the feet, sending the tailbone high, pushing the hands into the mat and sending the mat away from the body. With an inhale, we're going to come onto the tiptoes. And we're going to bring this right knee towards the right elbow. And we're going to plant the right foot on the outside of the right hand. We want our toes at around 30 degrees. And we want the knee in the same direction. We're going to, in your own time, walk that left foot back just a little bit and slowly lower the left knee, arriving into our pigeon. So we're just going to be staying here for a few breaths. You may want to gently rock the hips from side to side, or you may want to find stillness, whichever feels good for you. But again, starting to stretch into those hip flexors, allowing the hips to just fall towards the mat. And just take in a few more breaths here. Maybe coming onto the forearms if that feels good for you. Or maybe staying as you are, exploring. And just notice what feels good for you. Taking one last breath. And as we exhale, we're going to heel toe this right foot in between the hands, arriving into our low lunge. With an inhale, we're going to sweep the fingertips towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, bringing the hands back towards the mat. We're going to do two more rounds as we inhale, push into that front foot. Lift those hands and the arms behind the head. Exhale, bringing the hands back to the mat. Last round as we take a slow breath in. Find your low lunge, slow exhale. We're going to lift the back knee and step straight back into our downward facing dog. Maybe just start to pedal out the feet or sway the hips. Just notice those sensations around the hips. And when you're ready, taking stillness, taking a breath. And as we exhale, coming onto the tiptoes. Now bringing this left knee towards the left elbow. Planting the left foot on the outer hand. And slowly finding your lizard, maybe taking a moment to settle in here first. Maybe walking the right foot back and lowering the back knee. So we want more of the thigh onto the mat rather than the knee. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. Again, maybe gently swaying the hips from side to side. Maybe coming onto the forearms. Or maybe keeping the hands lifted. Wherever we are, we're just sinking the hips towards the mat. Taking a few more breaths. And when you're ready on the exhale, we're going to heel toe this left foot in, arriving into our low lunge, pushing in to that left foot. Feel as though we're squeezing the thighs together, sending the hands behind the ears. Exhale, nice and slow, arrive back to the mat. 2 more rounds as we take a slow breath in. Find your low lunge. If you feel wobbly, feel as though we're squeezing the thighs together. Last round, taking a slow breath in. And as we exhale, nice and slow, heading back to the mat. We're going to lift the back knee and step straight back into our downward facing dog. Starting to just pedal out the feet. When you're ready, we're going to find our frog. So just separating the knees. We want to make sure the heels are in line with the knees and the toes are flexed towards the body. Planting the forearms towards the mat, or maybe walking the arms out and lowering the chest towards the floor. Wherever you are, we're going to be taking a few breaths here. You may want to create some gentle rocks forwards and back. The further we send the hips back, the deeper the stretch is going to be around the groin. And sometimes it's better to have the knees onto wood or maybe a slippy surface. This is going to help the knees to fall, allow them to fall. On a mat, the knees won't slide as much. So again, just taking a few breaths here, maybe finding stillness and maybe creating those gentle rocks, whatever feels good for you. Maybe come in onto the hands, maybe walking the hands out in front. Just taking the last few breaths wherever we are. And when you're ready on the next exhale, using the forearms, just carefully walking the knees back into the body. Keeping the knees separated, bringing the toes to touch. We're going to send the hips back and find our child's pose. So think about sending those hips towards the heels, maybe using the arms to send body back. And just taking a few breaths here. On the next exhale, we're going to come back into our downward facing dog and just start to pedal out the feet. Notice the sensations. And when you're ready in your own time, coming onto the tiptoes, tiptoeing the feet towards the hands, planting the feet hip width apart, slowly lowering hips towards the mat, bring our hands through to heart center. May face this way. So we're in our yogi squat. We're sending those elbows into the knees and sending the knees away from the body. Again, notice any sensations around the groin. You may want to create some free movement from side to side, maybe taking the hands towards the mat, or maybe just finding some stillness in our squat, allowing the head to grow towards the ceiling and the tailbone to lengthen towards the mat. We're taking 2 more breaths here. Keep pressing the hands into each other, sending the elbows into the knees, sending the knees away from the body. Taking 1 last breath. As we exhale, placing the hands down, lifting the hips, slowly tiptoeing, heel toe the feet inwards, and just take our ragdoll here. Allowing the head to hang heavy. Feeling that stretch down the back of the legs with an exhale. Releasing the hands towards the mat, bringing the chin to the chest as we slowly rise all the way up nice and slow. Finding our mountain posture, taking a breath. Exhale.